Hi there. In this video, I'm going to continue looking at some of the controls we have on this compressor. So the next two important controls I'm going to look at are the attack and the release. I'm just going to load a compressor onto my drums track now for this example. So I'm just going to delete this plugin on my vocal track by selecting it and pressing backspace. And now I'm going to drag and drop the compressor onto this drums track. So first of all, let's look at the attack. The attack is how long it takes the compressor to compress the audio signal once it has exceeded the threshold. I'm going to go back to this original view and pull down the threshold, so we're getting a lot of gain reduction. I'll just solo the drums too. Okay, so as you can see there, we're getting a fair amount of gain reduction. About 11 decibels. Now, if I change the attack time, so it's much slower, let's go all the way round to 1 second and play back. You'll be able to see there we're getting far less gain reduction. Also, listen to how different it sounds. So with a very slow attack time, we're hardly getting any gain reduction because the drum hits are not over the threshold for long enough to be compressed. So with a fast attack time, as soon as the drum hit reaches the threshold, the compression is applied. But with a slower attack time, the audio signal isn't over the threshold for long enough to really get any gain reduction. Now I'm just going to swap over to the activity view to show you another example. So this is just another way to view the compressor. Instead of seeing a gain reduction as a bar, the gain reduction will be displayed with this orange line here. So I'll set the attack back to default and play some audio. So as we could see there, the downward spikes were showing the gain reduction we were getting on each drum hit. So we're getting quite sharp spikes here. Now I'll adjust the attack time while playing back. So with a much slower attack time, we're not really clamping down on any of those transients. They're being allowed to pass through the compressor unaffected. I'm just going to load the compressor onto the vocal track once again to show you another example. This time I'm going to pull down the threshold from this control here. So we can see that blue line there displays our threshold. I'm just going to solo the vocal once again and reduce the attack time so it's really fast.
Yeah, when you got a dream, you gotta keep going for it. When you got a dream, you gotta keep pushing for it.
Notice how the gain reduction appears quite spiky. Now if I slow it down.
Yeah, when you got a dream, you gotta keep going for it. When you got a dream, you gotta keep pushing for it.
You can see there we're still getting some compression, but there's quite a big delay on how long it takes us to reach maximum gain reduction. So the faster the attack, the more the transients we clamp down by the compressor. Right, the next thing I want to talk about is release. So I'm going to go back to my drum track once again and show you some examples in this display. So the release is how long it takes to stop compressing the audio signal once it's fallen below the threshold. So I'm going to set my attack so it's reasonably fast and then just play back this audio.
Yeah,
I'll just make sure I've soloed my drums again. So as we can see there, the line was moving up quite quickly until we had no gain reduction once again. Now if I slow down the release time, you can see there the orange line was never actually reaching 0 dB. So there was compression being applied at all times. This is because the release time is so slow that there's still gain reduction when the next transient plays. Listen to how different it sounds with the slow and fast release. With a really slow release, the audio signal just seems much quieter. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is this auto control here. So, this disables the release dial and will automatically adjust the release time depending on the audio signal that's going through the compressor. So, if you're a complete beginner, I'd recommend just leaving the auto release on until you get your head around the other controls. So, no matter what the release time is, if auto is set, the compressor will determine its release time automatically. So that's a brief introduction into how a compressor works. It can be quite overwhelming at first, so for this reason I'm not going to go over any of the other controls at the moment. You'll still be able to greatly improve how your tracks sound by just using a threshold, ratio, attack and release controls. In a later video, I'll be showing how to use a compressor in action so you can learn how to use appropriate settings when using a compressor. Thanks for watching.